Hello, now then, welcome back. This is episode 13 of our Emberpelts playthrough on hiding from the Rainstorm map. And this is going to be a lucky episode. I can't promise that, but I'm going to go for it. Before I begin, there have been some comments about dealing with badwater. We are going to deal with those today because, well, quite frankly, it does need to be done. I kind of had the idea to just run a tunnel yonder way for this end and repeat for middle and this end, and that's what we're going to do. But big but, not entirely sure how deep they have to go. So to get over this problem, we're probably going to need to dig a little bit deeper than what we probably should have to do, but we're going to do it anyway. So this level here, it's not too bad. It's all solid, mainly because they've got the water sources there, so they have to be. But what we're going to have to do is pick our poison, if you like, not to jinx it with a possible issue, but we need to find a place where we can safely, for the most part, go right down as deep as possible, and with that, also not cut anything off too egregiously that it's going to be full forever. That would have been simpler had I not built it so thin to the wall, so we are going to have to destroy some of this bad tide goodness that we've created and go from there. Just expand it out a bit. I don't think it'll be too harsh for the beavers to do. Since we've got platforms on top, I think that'll be okay. Other things, major construction work-wise, is I have learnt my lesson also from the fact that this is a barren wasteland of water, and there is not enough. So, what's going to happen here is, for the most part, not a lot. It's going to stay there, but we are going to move into this area, and this here, when this drought finishes, will be in fact our, well, reservoir, for lack of any other better word to call it. Just going to build all this up, put some dams on top, and go from there. But there is a lot of wood that would be very useful to get our hands on. So, easiest way, and by easiest I mean not even slightly remotely easy, but we are just basically going to send the beavers down here with a team of 1 million beavers, or as many as I can spare, which is currently none, and get them to start ripping all these trees out. And we did start up here, because obviously this was originally full, but not anymore. So before I unpause them, we are just going to lay in wherever we can get them, which probably is nowhere, to be fair. Okay, there is somewhere. Probably the reason why that exists, to be honest. But yeah, it's going to be a bit painful to get them in. But we'll get them in where we can. And sort of leave it at that, to be honest. So we can start, potentially anyway, demolishing some of these here berries. In fact, we don't need to do that at all. We can make this super simple, because these are already dead. Scoop that in. That means that these guys should be able to rip all of this out. Let's just make sure that we don't have anything set up here anymore to rip out, which we do not. We do need to set it, so let's just handle that now while we can. May as well set it for everything, to be honest. So let's just lay it all in, worry not about it, and see what they get to eventually. As they churn through it, we are going to have to deal with bad tides probably in here. In fact, let's just get them running around. I don't think we have too much to worry about. So right now, I'm going to go into a temperate cycle. And again, this is not hard mode, as I didn't put it in hard mode because I didn't really know how these guys work. So, long temperate cycles, short bad seasons, be it drought or bad tide. But that's everything there set up. We've got some space here. I click the right button. With that, so we can get down. Need a path. Thank you very much. There are some stairs sneakily here that I didn't notice, but we will leave them in because that will make our lives a hell of a lot easier. And yeah, it's just going to be a bit of a pain getting down to this bit, but I believe in these beavers. They have what we need to get us sorted. We don't really need to come down into this level. This scrap metal is, well, we have a mine now, so I don't think we need to worry too much about it, so we'll just ignore it. Cool, cycle 34, let's go. Hopefully the builders don't take too long getting that sorted. We do need to come up with a diversion system for this, which will probably entail a similar construct to what we're going to build for these bits. Nice. That's these guys doing some heavy lifting on the well-being, as we finally got these finished just at the last of the previous episode. We do have space for more monuments, which will eventually go in somehow. Don't know how we'll power it, but we'll figure that one out later. You should not be doing that. Why? Okay. No, you should very much be auto. You're just open. You're just open. Maybe just a bit of a surge. Or not. I think we had this last time, and I think it did eventually sort itself out. Just need to find the right balance to stop it from doing that, which seems to be about there. Cool, right. So, let's see how we're going to tackle this. So, we need to basically dig this area a bit further forward. So, we're going to build that. They probably don't have a way to get over there anymore, which they do not. Not ideal, but it'll do. Now, what we also need to get them to do is do a bit of digging. I would say this is a bit of a wasted space up here, and it is, to be honest, but it doesn't really matter for what we need. So, landscaping. Dig me this here giant hole. And we're going to do a very similar thing here. In fact, we could just do it there. In fact, there's not a particularly nice place to put that on here, to be honest, but it'll have to do. And this area we can probably get away with here. No. Has to be around here for this one, so I suppose this guy, and then over this end. We built this a little bit more well designed than anywhere else, or quite close to the shoreline, and we've obviously got our giant farms up here now, which makes things a tiny bit difficult. What can we do up here? Could just say, you know what, rip out some corn and pull off that band-aid. And I think the answer to that is yes. So rip that out. Do that swiftly, please. And build me that. You can get rid of this. And when you've done that, pick up those pieces. Thank you very much. What I'm after? Dynamite. That's correct. So let's just go down a tiny bit. Like all those picked up. These are just an insurance policy for making sure that we don't break the beavers in any way, shape or form. Get those picked up. Get them a quick priority bump also. Yep, and say goodbye to these. We will recover them. It's not going to stay like that permanently. In hindsight, I probably should have done what I was originally going to do. Is put that like that, but again, get rid of these. It's too far, you say? Well, I can fix that with this here path. Now tell me it's too far. Planks say we are full. I guess we need to put in big storage. Let's burn some of that stuff then. So let's say goodbye to this guy. We will lose the stuff, which is a bit of a pain, but it's okay. That'll go everywhere except where you want it to be, which sounds about right. But let's get that planked in. And build me that quick as you can. Right, in these areas, we're just going to basically plop in 2 of these. Nice and simple. I think that probably went somewhere sensible, which is nice. Get that placed in. We could maybe put one on this side if we wanted to. I don't know if we do. But for now, we will leave it alone. That does mean we will end up breaking this area, so we're gonna have to rip these out. And I will say temporarily to cap them, just to keep everything sealed. So, have we got the blank storage in? Yes, we do. So, before they get too excited about that, I would not like to lose all of these. So hopefully they can get those picked up. Looks like they can reach them all, which is nice. Chuck them down in there. We do need to repeat that quite a few times with all of the major stuff. Especially now with a mine. Logs. Are we full on logs? We are. Fair enough. I will take being full on logs. We won't be soon. Alright, so with this done, let's kaboom that. Why are you like that? Ah. I see. Whoops. That is my bad. But that is now fixed. Not one this side. Make sure I've not done another whoopsie, which is probably there. Let's... Yes. Mistakes have been made, however, we will adapt. No such problem here, though, so let's just kaboom that. And over here, there should be no such issue either. Good. And we're going to go down again. One more. Let's make sure that gets done before I blow that. Get that installed there. That is now in. Kaboom, that's good. We are dry. Fantastic news. Go down one more. And with this, well, basically, I think 6 should be deep enough. I am tempted to go deeper. But I'm not sure if it's worth it. In fact, I think it is. Let's just kaboom and go down one more. I'm almost certain it can't go up 9 tiles high. That's a bit of a distance for them to come to. They're probably over here. Yes, they are. So kaboom that. And kaboom that. And whack that in, and we should be good. Okay, so how are we getting on over here? We're not. Fine. Because there is nobody in them. Okay. I am going to build some small housing. I probably want to replace these big ones, to be honest. The death waves we get are a bit much. And how far away are these? 1. I don't know. 2, 3. Coming up in the next couple. Oh, yeah. There's not many coming up. Well, that'll be fine. So, kaboom that. And here. They ain't done with that one yet, which is fine. They are done with that, though. And so, what we're going to do now, go into invisible water mode, and we're just basically going to build tunnels at this point, so... we are going to need our good friend, wherever it is, this guy. And one more should do us. So basically, we're going to do this. And we are going to use curly stairs. So bear with me while I lay this in. We should be able to deal with this fairly easily. I'll probably not do this right, but we should be fine. If anyone saw the last video, I'm hoping that that means that this works. Or the last playthrough, should I say. That I struggle to build spiral staircases, but I think I have mastered it to a degree. But yes, the plan is to get them down this way, keep them dry, keep them not involved in any bad water should it arrive early. And yeah, basically it's going to be a case of building yet more. So bear with me while I just build all of this noise. One more. I'll just go to the bottom. It would be much easier just to go to the bottom. It messes with my brain when it's in black and white. I don't know why. It just confuses me to no end. So I guess it's all the way down with that one. Same story here. And I appreciate this is probably not riveting watching at this point. You've seen it twice already, but I promise you it will be worth it. Zoomy doom. Let's go down. Thank you very much. Aha! Well, it's not going to be done for then. That's for sure. Let's just slow it down a tiny bit while I just concentrate on this. We are now connected to that, so path down here. That should get us all the way to the bottom. And it does. Fantastic. That's going to take some building. I could probably do with a two-way station on here, to be honest, but I think everything's still sealed up, so we're all safe. These will slam shut. We are going to have to just yeet the bad water off here. Bit of a shame that it's going to take ages to empty, but it kind of is what it is. Yeah, let me finish laying this in. I will be right with you. So storage is going to be required to get down here because with the tunnels, we're going to have to get Well, they are unlocked, but we need, obviously, all of the juices and the dynamite and planks and whatnot over here. Now, I think we can benefit some of the planks to turn on the storages back on up here. We might have to put some more in over this side. Make that a hauling problem. But anyway, let's deal with this first. There's always one more. Swirly stairs, and we should be able to just lay this in now. That should be us at the top, and it is. Fantastic. And all the way down to here. Fantastic. Good. So, could be a bit tight squeeze getting in for that, but we are in. This one's going to be a hell of a tunnel, but still. Needs must. And with that, it's gone. And lather, rinse, and repeat here. And this should be low enough pretty much everywhere else to also not be a problem. So that is how it's going to be done for the diversions of that. What we'll do is we'll obviously rip all that out, hook it all back up, probably build something to cover it. I'm not sure what, but we won't have any disastrous looking pits in there. That should be enough outflow for pretty much most of the quadrants, to be honest. I think it gets quite tight up here, so that's why there's two. This should be able to cope with this quadrant, I think. If not, we can always sink another one around here somewhere. Just get that zoomed straight out that way. Don't think there's any issues. Yes, there is. But again, going deep enough and it's not going to be an issue. But I think that'll be enough. As long as they get cleared out mostly in time, I think it'll be fine. We do need to get storages built all over these things, so just to make it somewhat doable. And it's going to be a very long road for these guys, so how much tunneling does it actually take? One dynamite, one thing. I think they can just be all smalls. We make this as efficient as beaverly possible for them. Was it logs, the other one? Logs, planks, dynamites. That's not that one then. And tiny tank. You are extract, and you are dynamite. And that should be enough to get them somewhat happy enough to start building that. Going to be a while to get them built too, so the extract, the dynamite, logs, and planks. You guessed it. That's a 1. That's a 1. And the planks. And finally, where we can squeeze it in over here. Bit dirty, but I think it'll work. Logs, obtain. Planks, obtain. Obtain. And finally, dynamite, obtain. So yes, that will take a dear sweet time for that to get done. I am very tempted. I am very tempted to do this short term temporarily. So let's just say build me these first. We may as well sink the gears and whatnot into it because we have them. We have the planks for now at least, so we may as well sink them into that, and the blocks are obviously also good. Plus it's off straight off the tubeway network, so that should, in theory, be fairly swift. And that should cut out this pain that these guys are having to deal with here. Right, so where were we in terms of getting stuff organised for this here bad side, which I appreciate we are on super slow mode still. Let's bust that up to triple speed so that we can get back into the flow. Yeah, it's just going to be a case of waiting for them to get around to that. We could probably also speed this up by saying some blocks around here. The old metal. And I suppose we should probably do this. And metal, obtain, highest priority, thanks very much. Cool, so that should have made their life just a tiny bit easier. Let's also chuck in this guy. Build me soon. And that, and use this here to deal with that. Oh, in fact, we don't need that at all because it's done, so that goes all the way down. As is this one, so yeah, don't need to worry too much about that then, just those please. Holders then can get that on their list of things, which is probably quite a lot as it stands. We'll go with that. So, 0.8 days. This will dry up. This should just be open. These, I believe, are still set to slam shut, which the answer to that is yes. You will be eventually. And once that's in, hopefully the holders can sort that out for us. Okay. Right, so it will hopefully be fairly painless with this bad tide. We are going to have to wait a long time. I think this was okay last time. It may overspill. It got quite animated, shall we say. We'll see how it goes for us. Right, let's just turn on non-invisible water and see how we're doing. So, point number 1, we have greenery. So that's good. We have no goo. This shouldn't now be able to overtop that, which it can't. This is now poo water, so we're kind of stuck with that. That's not really a problem. Looks like we've started moving into this, though. That's good to see. Still not got anyone on this end, but that's okay. This area being clean would allow us to deal with the bad tide diversions, to be honest. How is this set up? Badly, I think, is the answer to that. Certainly for what we need it for. Alright, we'll worry about it later. In the meantime, in between time, they can deal with that. So far, so good. Nothing untoward is happening on the farms. It's a bit dry, but we do need another water dump down here, to be fair. Otherwise, it causes quite a few problems. We could probably fix some of this. You radishes, you all radishes, you are nuts. Oh, let's just make those radishes. Just unplant all that because we may as well. We're going to need the path if we're going to put in a water dump anyway, so may as well. Alright, so that's those nearly done. We have one spare bed. 10 baby beavers. Not many that are grown up, but they'll get around to it. Hopefully with improved life expectancy. I mean, not going to be too bad. That's probably related to a million things. We probably should start looking at fixing some of the aesthetics for them. Let's just find a beaver. What do you get from all this fancy jazz? Let's have a look, shall we? Onesies and twosies. Okay. How many scratches do we have, actually? That's the question. I don't know if they show up in this. Let's just... We have two. Two for the entire colony. That's not good. We also need to fix that too. I guess let's just get them back running around. Let's fix this issue. Badwater is not the best, but I think it's going to be okay. At least for now. Yeah, we need to fix all of this area. So let's start by saying empty this. Let's make the scratching problem much worse. Well, we can't empty it anyway, so just say goodbye. Can this thing fit in it? It can. Let's go. Let's get that built. I mean, these are going to take a million years to put in, which is, I guess, okay. Could these be elsewhere? I think the answer is yes. Except those. Let's empty that. Let's just get rid of what we can. Charcoal. Don't think we need down here, but we'll keep it anyway. We do need somewhere to move these to. It's probably worth saying we need to replace these as well, so maybe work on that eventually. But not yet, because we need to get this sorted first. And we don't have the contamination barriers on this level. Across this back end. That's going to be a difficult one to fix. But we're not going to be planting up here, so I don't think we really need to. These areas did need it. But not much else, I don't think. Let's... If these trees die... Oh, they're also keeping the crops alive. Never mind, we'll just leave it as is. Fine, you want to be difficult, do you? That's okay. I was fooled when the arrows went red. I believe you were logs. Yeah, you were. So we get those picked up. That should go in, get that prioritised. That doesn't need to be filled anymore because they've built all of the stairs. There's plenty of planks. There was no metal placed here. Let's just zoom down. It's going to take me dear sweet time to handle this, so let's just start laying in the paths. I haven't even got to this one yet, which is fine. And we'll just have to keep an eye on that. Right, so we're almost out of the bad tide. This should take about 3 days, I think, to clear itself out. There is probably quite a lot of power here. This is very unhappy. Very unhappy. But it will sort itself out shortly. So this didn't run out of water, so that's good to see. That's caused us a bit less of a headache. We don't have the spare beavers to turn those on, unfortunately. Would be nice if we had breeding pods so that we could get these guys to just pop out ready and finished. But we don't have any of that, unfortunately. Never mind. I might just give these a little bump. They couldn't get down here anyway, but they do need to be scratched, so let's just... Just get these where we can get them, I think. I don't think we need to overthink it too much. Could be a good excuse to put these into. Why not? I mean, we have the science. Can't really put much else in that space, to be honest, so let's just chuck it in. And hopefully... Not that they're going to get to it in a while, that's for sure. Let's just get that bumped up, because otherwise it's going to be painful getting them in and sorted to get all of that done. Yeah, it's going to take ages to empty. Does eventually. Ah, it won't eventually. Ah, yes. Whoopsie daisy. That is a problem. I missed this. I don't think I'm going to do much about it until this is finished. It's a short run, though, so... certainly shorter than that. I think we're going to have to go for this first. I mean, it's not a total problem. There's water still coming in. It's just contaminated, which is a bit dirty. I don't like it. I don't like it. Want to keep it clean. Let's get those in. That's all watered again anyway, so no. It's not going to get ripped out unless they unpick them. Right, let's just take a quick stock of where we are. So water is okay. Juices are sort of on the way up, thanks to planting more trees and getting stuff put around a bit better. We do need more apples though, so probably need to replace some trees. It may be that we have to rip out these oaks. That's probably the way to go, to be honest. These guys are all full. We just need an absolute boatload of storage. I think... yeah, let's just go for it. We need all the wood we can get, to be honest. We can always move it after the fact. In fact, let's just... I mean, are we doing anything with berries? I don't think we are. I have to do a bit of juggling of priorities here, but that shouldn't take them too long. Once that's done, we'll put in big storage. Give that a bump up. And then these guys should have enough space to... well, storage space to rip out most of that anyway. Maybe not all of it, but we'll find out soon. Do have people in here now, so that's good. They're ripping that out. Tragically, there's not a nice place to put any wooden storage over here. Although... yeah, let's just do that too. There's a bit of walking involved for them, but not as far as taking it all the way down to here, which is full anyway, so... I think also it's probably going to be a good idea to pause these. Where else are you hiding? Just because we don't need them at the minute. We will need them at some points, but it's probably going to be better to rip these emergency trees out and plant in some more apple trees. So we are balanced on jobs now, but we will unbalance it by doing that. And I will say, let's just unplant all of these. We will replace it eventually. And these guys haven't got a fighting chance of storage, which kind of sucks, but Scrap's okay. If we were to rip this out, we could stick it somewhere else and replace it. Which... it's not worth it because we don't actually need it for anything. This thing only needs to be fed bricks anyway. The rest is just overflow storage, so we'll leave it be. Let's just see how they're getting on down here. Nearly all the way through. Good to see. So they don't get too antsy about being in the way. And with any luck, they can now see off into the void that is the edge of the map. I am going to rip all this out, though. I mean, we don't technically need them, but we're going to get them. And the next question is dealing with... Oh, I never filled that up anyway. Never mind. Let's tidy that up. And then we need to connect it into here. Now, the way I'm going to do this is just sluice. Once it's empty, of course. So hopefully it doesn't take them too long. Yeah, there's plenty of storage. I think we're fine. Get all these picked up. Hopefully not too long. It's like, what, 10 blanks, I think? Six. Let's go. 6 more, please. Pretty please. Hey, thank you. Alright, so there is no reason for anyone to come down here. They're going to come for these logs. They could come for these logs. I just want to clear the area, if I'm honest. They come and pick those up, though. That would be super fantastic. This is all still very much poo water. I mean, it's not as contaminated as it once was. I don't think it's open, though. No. So when I do this, they're going to complain. Please come and pick these up. That'd be lovely. Is it empty? Fair enough. Right, so this may go everywhere. Wish us luck. Okay, that wasn't the disaster I thought it would become. So water is now being yeeted out of existence, which is fantastic to see. And all of this jazz in here needs to be removed. Yes, please. Getting to it's going to be fun, but that should be all pure water at this point, so that should be okay, at least short term. That'll zoom straight off there, and with our good friend the sluice, I believe we should be able to put that in. We could, before they build that, actually. Let me just have a think. Good, so that's now topped that back up. If we were to drop down one level... Is there a point? I don't think there's a point. No. No. Let's do that. Number one build priority. Thank you very much. And in theory, I don't know if it's unlocked, but we'll find out shortly. It is. We could just... One thing I'm not sure of, actually, is... Can we do this? We cannot. Oh no, we can. That's fine. But I can't do that because that would then break it, so that would be a stupid idea, so let's not do that. To be honest... I think having it exposed isn't a problem. But I would very much like all this stuff to be picked up. There's a lot of goods there. I mean, it looks like they got most of it, actually, but... Are we full on the metal? We are full on the metal. Okay, fine. Congratulations, your day has come. Let's say goodbye to that. Big storage. You are the blocks. Build. Thank you very much. Right, let's just take a trip underground. They've done all of that, so we can rip all this out as well. Like so. Everything should be in range. How are you getting over here? You'll have stopped because there is no path for you. I would kill for a P for path button, but never mind. Okay. Let me know if you want to cover this, or leave it as is. Even if we get into dirt excavation, we're not going to be able to get everything out of that. There would need to be some shenanigans to make that actually work. I'm going to get super dizzy going downstairs to get all that picked up. And in fact, just empty all of this. $33, looking good, looking good. Kind of almost fell on the planks too. Still only got 15 clay. Fair enough. Well, we probably should fix that. Blocks look to be on their way up. We do need these picking up before they yeet themselves out of existence. I need to stop saying the word yeet. We do have bored beavers, so congratulations. You can go help out. Oh yeah, you need to be logs. These guys are stuck. You also need to be logs, which is kind of a good point. Zoom this way and yonder here. That should bring all... Okay, didn't bring any of that into focus, but it's fine. Let's just do that. How are these guys getting along? Okay. There's still quite a bit more that they can actually get through to. That's fine. Don't have any border beavers, but we'll get them in from somewhere. And plant me these here apples. Alright, so that's good. Have they finished ripping all of this out of here? They have. Let's just check underground. Everything's looking super clean here. Yes, please. That does all need to be picked up, which they should be able to get to from here. I would very much like all of that picked up. Why not? And again with these. Again, a bit crazy, I know. Aha! And let's just copy and paste. And we'll find out if 9 holes is deep enough. I think it is. I can't see why it wouldn't be, but... we'll get rid of this guy. It doesn't need to be on the network anymore. See how these are getting on. Deep enough, I suppose. Zoom this way. Yeah, it's not quite as advanced on that one. That's fine. That poses no danger because it'll stay on that level, so that's fine. Nothing to do. Yes, there isn't. You're right. Just build me that, please. Just needs to be hit with a hammer and we're done. All right, so let's just have a look. What have we got else on the docket for today? Not much, I don't think. I think we can safely close this. So that's what we will do. There should no longer be a need to overspill into this area, which means it should stay blue. We'll find out in 1.9 days, so we'll get to see what that looks like and then probably wrap up this episode for now. I think you guys will have planted everything, so let's just pause that. I am half tempted to also rip that out, but I won't. Yeah, let's just unplant these, I guess. Can't reach them anyway, so it's fine. Could do with upgrading these, to be honest. Charcoal and scrap. probably do with moving a load of stuff around, if I'm honest. Logistics is probably something we need to look at and focus on next time. But we'll find out what happens in 1.3 days if this bad tide solution is the actual fix. P for path. Put this in. Okay, so just double check this. Close below, close below. That's fine. If this is no longer contaminated, we can put dams down here just to keep this area green. We have 6 bored beavers. Probably could do with giving the haulers some help. Let's do that. And you may as well fill that up. So once those stairs are in, getting down's going to be an interesting one onto this other side. I don't actually think there is any stairs to do so. Let's take a quick look around. No. So it will be a case of building a crosswise just to get to everything. It's no big drama. This staircase would help if they could actually get to it, but they can't. Yeah, not a great deal we can do about it. Fair enough. We will worry about it later. Obviously, there's plenty of wood that's going to be ripped out of this anyway. All right, here comes the moment of truth. Assuming this is all done. We knew that died before anyway. That's fine. Obviously that doesn't work yet. Interestingly... Oh, here it comes. I was going to say, where's the contamination? But there it is. I've found it. I don't know why that would have actually fixed it, but there you go. It made sense to me. But no badwater. So, I think, answers on a postcard though, I think we've cracked it. Obviously we need to fix this bit properly, and obviously these bits need finishing, which looks like they're cracking on with actually. Let's scoot yonder and see how much more path we need to put in, which is quite a lot. Still kills all of this down here. We could probably fix that, but not sure if it's worth it. I mean, it probably is, but maybe not. But cool. All right, so I will wrap this episode up here. I hope this has fixed some of the stress that I've had trying to deal with the bad water. I think the saga is over. Hopefully, it's what a lot of you had a suggestion and ideas to do as well. So if it isn't, please do let me know if I've not done something correctly, because I couldn't think of any other way of doing it other than going as deep down as beaverly possible so we don't end up with like a line of dead crops or trees. Because originally I was just going to go like 2 or 3 down, which again, I mean, based on this, it seems to be the answer is 2. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's not a good idea. That's jumped up 2 or 3. So I don't think it was deep enough. 9 is definitely fine. So I think we're good. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you have any unrelated comments to that, Always keen to see them, so please sure come in down below in those old comments. And I will stop yammering, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. See you later.